First up today, let's go to a voicemail from one of our listeners in Sacramento, California, named Patty.
Listening to you from the Sacramento area, and you've really blessed my life, especially over the last year. Thank you so much. My question is this. When they say you shall not use the Lord's name in vain, what does that really mean? I've heard a couple of different takes on that. Is it the language that you use? Is it the way you refer to him and respectfully or disrespectfully? I would really love some clarification on that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for your question, Patty. So this gets us right into the Ten Commandments. Exodus chapter 20, we're talking about the third commandment, verse 7. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. If you think of a name as the way in which one communicates who they are, reveals themselves, I think we can broaden this out some to realize that this commandment specifically has to do with God has revealed himself to his people. So taking God's name in vain is the irreverent use of or thought of even any of the means through which God has made himself known to his people. We can think of how he makes himself known through the word, through the ordinances that Jesus gave to the church, baptism and the Lord's Supper. So a minimizing of those things, of those places where God has revealed himself to his people. That can also include, I think, the way in which we speak, and in particular how we use God's name. But I think oftentimes when people think of the third commandment, they limit it to just that. Not taking the Lord's name in vain in that way. But I think it's got a broader application. The other text of Scripture that I would go to is Jesus' Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5, where he talks about oaths that we take. And he says in verse 33, again you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than that comes from evil. And so here you see this idea of the way in which we use our words, in particular, the way in which we talk about God, taking oaths specifically. And so there's this reverence that we as the people of God should have for the Lord, for how he's revealed himself to us. And we want to be careful, as we think about this, because the text there in Exodus 20, verse 7 is very clear. God will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. And so we want to honor the Lord by having a high view of all of those ways that God reveals himself to his people. And again, I would just say some of those are the preaching of the word, the ordinances that Jesus gave, and always in our speech communicating in ways that bring glory to the Lord.